Mardi Gras badass. How are you? You know what? As we're talking here, I can hear a little something sizzling. So let me back up, and good. We are going to talk about, actually we're going to learn today, and let's just do it right here. We are going to learn how to make gluten-free Paczkis, which is just Polish for jelly donut. And my favorite kind of donut is when there's cream in there too, so we're just going to call it a cream-filled Paczki, and you're going to learn how to make both. And so let's start, okay? So the first thing is you want to put some butter, water, sugar, and salt in a pan, and you want it to start to boil. So we're just going to get that puppy up a little higher again. There we go. And what we're going to do is we're also going to, so where am I going with this? I am going to add flour. We're going to put white rice flour in. And this is how we're going to make our donuts hold together but yet be tender without any xanthan gum. And that's what our sweet rice flour, that is our friend. And so we're going to stir this up. Now, a lot of times when we're making fried donuts and we're using gluten, we're actually going to roll out the dough. And what I found is when I was trying to do that for gluten-free, I found that it was just too stiff of a dough. It wasn't good. What we need is a nice dough that we're going to scoop into the fryer, and it's still going to come out with a wonderful shape, and it's going to be tender, exactly the way you love it. All right, so we're just going to let this, the reason we're going to heat this up here and let it cook for just about maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes, is because the sweet rice flour has a ton of starch in it, and starch is what's binding all of this together for us. Hello, Susan. How are you tonight? Once we do that, we just want to get the nice and going. So let's talk a little bit about the history of Paczkis. Why do we have this glorious food known as the jelly donut, and why did it come out of Poland? Well, first of all, Poland traditionally is a very Catholic country, and as Lent was quickly approaching, they had to use up the lard and the sugar and all the good yummy things that they weren't able to eat during Lent. So that is where they decided to come up with jelly donuts. They wanted to use up all the good stuff. All right, so we're going to put this, so this is our beginning of our dough. We're going to put it right in here into our mixer. But before we start mixing it, we're actually going to take our eggs and we're going to warm them up. Okay, we don't want them cooking. We're not looking for fried eggs. We're not looking for scrambled eggs. We just want them to warm up happily. And the reason is they'll incorporate better into the hot dough that we have. All right. So Andrew, I don't know if you can take a good look at this over here. Can you show them the dough? So we're going to put in 1 egg at a time. So I'm just going to drip that in. Oh, there we go. Happy. All right. And we're going to put this on and we're going to stir them up 1 egg at a time. So how's this for sort of interesting, and I'm so glad for the evolution here. Paczkis used to be, they started out, also they not only were sweet, but they also used to make savory versions. So they would put pork and pork fat inside the donut. I'm much more for the jelly and the cream. How about you?
And they'd fry it in lard, right?
Yes, well, donuts often are. We're using, that's a good question, Andrew. We are using canola oil because actually then it's more heart healthy for you. And I do believe in treats, but we're going to add that wicked and that wholesome together of the sugar and the canola oil. Perfection. All right, so take a look at this. So we've mixed in all 3 eggs. It's got a beautiful color to it. What we're adding now is some yeast with had a little bit of sugar in it as well, and some hot water. And I can see some of this yeast is not wanting to be a part of the donut. Huh. No siree, you have to. We need you. All right. And then we're going to put in the rest of our sweet rice flour. Again, want more of that starch in there. And of course, we want pure vanilla extract. So let's get that in there. So we're going to stir this up. And what's nice about this recipe is you can double it. It does make a nice amount of donuts, but maybe you just really, you're having a party or you really want to indulge. And this will let you do that. All right. Oh, and do you like my Mardi Gras outfit? I am ready. It started, Mardi Gras officially started on January 6th in New Orleans, and it is starting to go strong, especially as we get into February. And the official National Paczki Day in the United States is Fat Tuesday itself. So that's going to be the 25th of February. And what I thought is we should learn how to do this now, because you want to practice, don't you? You want to make sure that you test these and you love these. And so when it comes then time to make them on Fat Tuesday, you are ready, because practice makes perfect. Or what did your teachers used to say?
Permanent.
Practice makes permanent. And we want to know. We want this ingrained in our brain on how to make paczkis. All right, so here's our beautiful dough. All right, and we have heated up just a nice home fryer here, which is always wonderful. Now, here's a couple things to think about in terms of size, okay? You can really make a paczki any size you want. You can make a nice small one. You could take a medium-sized one, or you can make a big mama one. It's all up to you. So let's take a look at difference in sizes. Here's the big mama. How's that? That's a lot of paczki. And then here's the medium one. And the small ones are really quite baby-ish. But
They're the ones that you've seen us make with just regular beignets.
Yes, thank you, Andrew. Yes, when we make the beignets, we use the really small spoon. But this is what it looks like. And this is nice. Like, I feel like I could eat 2 of these and be really happy. And then maybe make 2 more a little bit later. You know, Jean. Hello, Jean. It's interesting that it looks kind of like mashed potatoes. Let's poke our fingers in there. It kind of does. I would say it's a little more yellow. But I hear you. It is very similar. But, ooh, it tastes even better. Okay. So, let's make, so I'm going to show you here. Actually, I don't want that one. I want this one. All right. Thank you, Andrew. All right. So, we're just going to put some in the ice cream scoop. And we're going to put that right in. Do you see that? And a fryer like this holds about 4. And you can put those in there. And they're going to cook for about 3 to 4 minutes. And the recipe will be on the website by tomorrow. And if you do make these, which I hope you do, not yet, we can send me photos, please. All right. So what we have here, I think it's time to start filling these, because Catherine's already here and trying to steal them. I'm sure you're shocked. Okay. So what we're going to talk about.
Heavy.
Look at it big.
I'm not used to that big.
All right. So part of what makes a paczki is that it is covered in granulated sugar. All right. Now you can definitely get these. Yeah. Do you want to roll them in the sugar? Would you show Andrew how they're doing? How she's doing that? Here.
So you basically just exactly how it sounds. Just roll it. Just roll it until you're satisfied or until it's completely covered, whatever you want.
These are much easier to handle when they're cool, so don't feel like you have to burn your fingers. The sugar sticks on it just fine when it's cold as well. Also, in terms of putting your fillings in, you definitely want to wait until they're cool, because the fillings will get really warm, and it's just the jelly doesn't taste quite as good that way. And with the cream, you definitely don't want to get it overheated. Then it just kind of disappears and migrates into the donut itself. Would you like to do that, Big Mama?
Yes.
Okay. So a couple things. If you were using when you're frosting a cake and you're trying to pipe icing in, I'm always one for just use a plastic bag and cut the corner off.
It doesn't work.
But it does not work when you're trying to push something in and you might be getting some resistance. It does not work at all. So we went to Dollar Tree. God bless Dollar Tree.
I love that place.
I know, where everything's really $1. We put some strawberry jelly in here. Just pulled it right out of the jar. You don't have to do anything special. We also made regular whipped cream and chocolate whipped cream. And may I say, the chocolate whipped cream is like the new revelation of my life. I'm thoroughly in love with it. I don't think I ever need to date again. This is my partner for the rest of my life. Of course, that recipe will be on there as well.
Would this be like the one in blood where I just pour it into my mouth?
Yeah. All right, so what we're going to do, you just take this, push it in, all right, and just squeeze. And you're going to keep squeezing. Let me get the first one. You can do the cream one. Why don't you do the cream one, baby? So you're just going to keep pushing. And I can feel it kind of filling up here with my finger. And soon, look at that. Look at that happiness. Is that not beautiful?
All right, Catherine, let's see what you're doing.
Oh, that's
I've overflowed.
You have overflow. That's not a bad thing. All right. The other thing you might want to consider is if you wanted to put cream in them, is that you can also put a little glaze on top. So you know, kind of like the those wonderful donuts where they have the vanilla cream inside and the chocolate frosting on top. We can do that as well.
Can I frost this one?
Yeah, you frost that one, or you can do it, but put the cream in first because the cream is the important part.
Okay, well, should I do this cream or jelly?
Do the cream. Please do the cream because that's the one I'm going to eat.
Hey, no, I am.
I call the big one.
So you know what I think is so interesting is when
I made it.
when we so if you think about the Middle Ages when they were when you know the farmers were coming in, it was a very agricultural state. Basically, Poland is a gluten fiesta. Their number one crops are rye, barley, wheat, and so what we're doing here is we are creating the non-gluten version of it, and I will say to you that it tastes just as good. So let's look at that. Okay, so we got the friendly chocolate. You can try another one. Where I don't want to, yeah, so, oh my gosh. Cream in the middle, chocolate on the outside, all rolled in sugar. Does it get better than that? I don't think so.
I'm gonna make myself one.
Oh my gosh, so here's the key thing. You want to eat the punchkis basically the same day as you make them. And ideally kind of right away. Susan, to answer your question, I would let them cool, I don't know, 20 minutes, 15 minutes. Just have them nice and cool to the touch. When you touch them, you'll be able to tell if they're still warm or not. And then, like I said, you want to eat them relatively quickly. I hope that's not too much of a burden. Let me tell you if it's a burden or not.
It's so hard, you know.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Please send me pictures when you make these because then I'll post them. And that makes me really happy. As always, if you have questions while you're making them, before, during, or after, let me know. Send me an email. Send me a text. I'm totally open to that. And I really appreciate Mary, who on beginning of January, I posted, hey, what kind of recipes should we make for the new year? And she said, I really like jelly-filled donuts. So thank you, Mary. These are for you. Meanwhile, I say to all of you gluten-free badasses, please keep being you. You are a gift to this world, and please do not ever compromise on who you truly are. And I'm getting the signal there's another comment. And I don't see that comment. So, but that's okay. Our cameraman's very excited that I, respond to everything. So that's cool. All right. Have a great week. Actually, a great 2 weeks. We'll be making a Valentine's Day dessert in our next episode. And thank you so much.